The Minnesota Conference is committed to having bold spirit leaders who lead their churches out into their communities to reach new people and to make disciples of Jesus Christ.
Walk with me, I will walk with you, and build the land that God has planned, where God shines through.
A couple of signature ministries that we have is the New Clergy Leadership Academy. So what we have discovered is that seminaries within their seminary education don't have the ability and scope to teach everything a person needs to know coming out of seminary. And particularly leadership skills is the one thing that's not necessarily taught. We also started an initiative called Soul Leaders. We created an experience where people could come into community in retreats over time to really explore their soul and their role and how that gets lived out and how they can reconnect to their passion, how they can discover that courage, how they build trust with one another to be on this journey together. And then as we're continuing Soul Leaders, how they begin to dream some God-sized dreams that really do transform the world.
I decided to participate in Soul Leaders, one, because of the whole idea of connecting with the individual pastor's soul, allowing a pastor to connect with their own spiritual journey, and how that might help us to grow and expand and just think and be in the presence of others who are interested in growing spiritually. What I do think that it has done, Soul Leaders has done for my leadership within the local church, has one, given me permission to be authentic in my own journey. That I might grow and continually learn and process my walk with God and portray that within my leadership with my people so that they feel permission and space to be authentic in their journey as well.
Leadership is about helping a congregation see the possibilities, encouraging and equipping them to do something that may be outside their comfort zone, and helping them learn that where God is in the midst of that and what God's calling us to do and how God's calling us to live that out.
The Minnesota Annual Conference offers a wonderful and vibrant camp and retreat ministry where children come to camp and experience Christ in creation in new, profound, and life-changing ways. The Minnesota Annual Conference owns several campsites, including Northern Pines in Park Rapids, Coronis Ministries in Paynesville, and Cowakan Ministries up in Ely. In 2013, we saw just over 2,400 campers. Our goal for all of our participants is to, for everyone to feel safe, secure, and loved while they're at our sites and to share and learn about Christ and creation.
It's a great experience that you can't really find any other place. Everyone there is so supportive, and so it's a good environment to be around, and the experience carries with you throughout the rest of the year. And I don't know, as soon as I get home from camp, I'm looking forward to going to camp next year. You feel closer than you thought you could ever feel to God when you're there. 2013
was a year where we were really learning and discerning what it is we do best and how to focus energy towards those things. And really has put us in a great place into 2014. We can really begin to focus on again, what it is we do best. In 2013, the camp and retreat leaders of the conference made some difficult decisions around the number of properties and programs we had. One piece was the sale of Camp Kingswood that was sold to the Three Rivers Park District, and the other one was to pause the Servant Heart Ministries program. My life was changed at camp, and I was so profoundly affected in my vocation and how I reached out to my family and my church through my time at camp.
New church starts are still one of our most effective means of reaching new people. Across Minnesota, we have 24 new church starts right now that are 7 years old or less. And we launch those in a variety of different ways. Sometimes we focus on growing geographic areas. Sometimes we focus on specific demographic audiences. And sometimes we center on unique affinity or interest groups like people in recovery. We have a whole host of different styles of new church starts. One of them is the Restart. In fact, we have one of those at Hopkins Korean Evangelical United Methodist Church that is now about 4 years old, and they are a restart because they relocated to a new area, they renamed themselves, they went through an intentional revisioning process, and they welcomed a new pastor, Jae-woo Park.
This country is not their home. Where do they feel a sense of home? The answer is Korean Immigrant Church. I believe that God gave this building for not only for us, but for the other people still who don't know Jesus Christ.
When I came to Minnesota first time, I was a student at the U of M, the University of Minnesota, and the Hopkins Church had a young adult group activity going on at the campus at that time. I was invited to that Friday Bible study, and that was my first time opening the Bible and then start reading. When I'm sitting, the congregation service chair, I feel presence of God. I have lived my life without God for 20 years. I really know right now that God is working inside of me. I mean, it is a total different life than without God before. Whenever I realized how God loves me, I even more realized, yeah, you love me this much, but I really don't have anything to offer to you except my heart.
We have a variety of different programs and processes available to revitalize existing churches. Things like Healthy Church Initiative.
Before we embarked on the Healthy Church Initiative process, we were a healthy church. We had good relationships amongst the members, but when we looked around, our congregation was and is definitely an aging congregation.
The biggest recommendations that came out of our Healthy Church Initiative, first of all, was to move our Sunday school, our children's education piece from Sunday morning during Sunday school to Wednesday nights. And then along with that, to incorporate a worship experience on Wednesday night and activities for all ages, including small groups for parents. And that has been one of the most important and most successful recommendations that we've had.
Our Wednesday night program was developed to appeal to younger families. A team developed, first of all, suppers that are held at 6 o'clock on every Wednesday night.
Having a dinner prior, as a working mom, it's so nice to be able to say, okay, I don't even have to worry about dinner on Wednesday. We're gonna show up, we're gonna eat with friends and kids running all over the place and be able to share a meal, especially with it just being the two of us, having other adults to interact with.
Life, it gets so busy, and so I was trying to get back into, relying on Jesus and those times where you have no control. And coming to this church has been a great reminder of that He is there, that He is present, and how much we need Him and how much we need to hold on to Him. My son comes home and brings these drawings that he makes. They are not the most beautiful and brightest, but you can tell that he is just so proud that he did that. He can tell you the story behind on why he did that. Like the other day he came with a picture of Jesus and he was holding 2 little kids. And so he said, Mom, Jesus loves kids. He loves me.
I think the most important thing about the Healthy Church Initiative for our congregation is that it has helped us as a church to come together and to imagine what is it that God might want for us. And it has helped us to dream a bigger dream for ourselves, and it's helped us to risk more, and it's helped us to really take seriously the question, where do we see ourselves 5, 10, and 20 years from now, and what are we going to do today to make a difference?
Time and again, I have people come to me that talk about never even thinking that they'd ever even attend or walk in the door of a church as they previously knew it. But when they come to experience a newly revitalized congregation or a brand new church that's doing things in new ways, it doesn't take long for them to tell me, I can't ever imagine not going to church anymore.
The Minnesota Annual Conference has a strong history of supporting missions and missionaries in response to God's call to heal a broken world. Our gifts support missionaries and missions throughout the world, specifically agricultural programs, classrooms, clinics, Imagine No Malaria, and such. Minnesota Annual Conference is so committed to mission work throughout the world that it created this new position that I now have. I'm excited to be the new Director of Missional Impact for the Minnesota Annual Conference because we have a long history of working in this area. Last October, Bishop O and his wife Shar and I went to Southeast Asia. We went to 3 countries, to Vietnam, to Laos, and to Thailand. We want to form a partnership with them. Last year, Bishop O challenged us for the Cleaning Bucket Challenge. We came through with 719 cleaning buckets and over $57,000 raised to go along with that to people who needed them in disaster relief areas.
I led a group of 43 individuals from across the Minnesota Conference out to New Jersey to do a Sandy relief trip after the superstorm out there. On the trip, there were a lot of different age groups, and we had people anywhere between age 14 and 81. We were doing anything from drywalling to painting. We rebuilt a set of concrete stairs. There was just general cleanup that was taking place throughout the process. And I also think that overall, there was a lot of just kind of pastoral care given by the group to these families. A lot of people that were coming back had been displaced from their homes for 6 to 9 months. And one of the people that we actually helped finish his house moved into his house and actually stayed there the week after we left for the first time in almost a year. It creates something for us to understand that it's a lifelong journey of being involved in caring for our neighbors. The thing that is so powerful for me is the ability to simply go and to have a transformative experience. I think sometimes you get more out of it yourself than you often provide. Coming back and being able to tell the story to other people about what you've experienced and what you've seen is a catalyst for other people to get involved as well.
I'm 21 and I came from Nigeria to the United States in 2011. Here I found the opportunity to do more as a Christian for the church. We were there and we came together, and there was not one person that went with us that didn't work or do anything. We were there and we focused, our focus was just inside, and we're like, this is what we want to do. And we all went together and we did it, and it was just marvelous to see that happen. Getting there, I saw people working hard to get what we all went to do there done. And I realized that when you come together with one goal, we can accomplish anything.
Many years ago, I traveled out of the country for the first time. I didn't go to France or Europe or anything. I went to Africa, and I found a slice of life that most people in Minnesota never experienced. People that are poor and they're disadvantaged, and they need some help. There's hungry children there. There are children not going to school, and there's a whole host of other issues that they face that we never have to face. We're called to heal a broken world, places where they need our help. And I'm so happy that people in Minnesota and the annual conference have done that over the years, and I want us to continue that tradition.
All of the ministry and mission that you've just heard about is made possible because of your faithful giving to the apportionments. Apportionments are the portion that local churches and annual conferences pay together to support mission locally, nationally, and internationally. Our apportionment receipt rate in 2013 increased again to 87.6%. That's the second year that we've seen an increase in apportionment receipt rate. In 2013, we were able to make 100% of our general church apportionments. That's thanks to the increased receipt rate we had for 2013, plus we used a portion of our conference reserves. The annual conference remains strong financially, and that's in large part thanks to the churches who pay 100% of their apportionments faithfully, and to all the churches who increase their apportionment giving. So thank you. We're very grateful for the strength of the ministry and the strength of your commitment.